Hey there viewers, Deli here, and this video is going to be cut up into a few sections. Following this, there is an intro section that sort of puts into perspective exactly why I'm making the video. Following that, there's a very quick summarized version of the entire tutorial that I've done today. Following that, there is a much more detailed version of the same tutorial. I made the quick tutorial after I finished the complete one because I felt that some people may not need the entirety of the first tutorial, and I kind of made it seem like it was a longer process than it actually is. So, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.
Sure do love playing some Deus Ex. Human Revolution. Sitting back on my bed, relaxing. Feels nice and comfy, controller out. Got a bag of chips with me. Can't beat it, man. A lot of people argue this is the way that games are made to be played. Luckily, we live in a world where we can play them like this, right? Actually, what time is it? Alright. 2:55 a.m. Well, I guess I should probably get this on. Get it over with. Anybody else confused by that layout? Well, some of you might not be, but others might be wondering, where's my 360 if I was just playing with a controller like that? Well, it's a trap. I've been playing on PC this whole time. So, what do you say I teach you guys how to do this? So here's the quick and dirty on how to hook up your PC to work with your TV. First thing you need to do is connect an HDMI cable from the back of your computer to your TV or your home theater receiver.
So once you get everything all plugged in, all you have to do is come into your TV, turn it on, and set it to the correct input. You can see I already have mine set to HDMI 1, which is perfect. And if you have a home theater system, all you have to do is make sure they have the correct input set to that as well. So now that you have everything all rigged up, you have your TV turned on to the right input, and you have your computer turned on, all you have to do is hit Windows and P, and it'll bring up this little menu. Go to Duplicate, let go, and you have both your images set up. Now, if you want audio as well, come down to the speaker in the bottom right click it, play devices, right click on your TV or your home theater receiver, whichever it is, set as default device, hit OK, and you're done. Literally takes not even a minute, and you have everything all linked up. Stick around for the detailed description if you like. Fucking shit, I can't see anything. Alright, so, to start out, we have to figure out exactly what you need to do this. First thing you're going to need, a computer, of course. And then you're also going to need a monitor. Not necessarily, you don't really need a monitor, but I'm basically doing this so that you can have a setup that will give you a normal monitor for, you know, doing things on the computer, browsing the web, etc., playing video games, most likely first-person shooters, things like that are much more suited for using mouse and keyboard. But then, all you have to do is hit a button or so and swap over to the TV, which you can actually see right over here. So you also need a TV. And after you swap over, then you can play all of your console games on there using a 360 controller or a DualShock controller, whatever you prefer, whichever one you like. I also have this guy here, which is a USB SNES controller. Whatever controller you can get to work. You can still use mouse and keyboard and go lay on your bed or sit on your couch or whatever. Just the same way, you know. It's just whatever you prefer. And the last thing that you'll need is one of these guys, an HDMI cable. HDMI is the easiest way to do this because you're going to be able to send your audio as well as your video, and you're not going to have to worry about getting some sort of converter to adapt to your video card to component cables, because usually TVs aren't going to have anything but a component input or HDMI input. So you run into an issue because most graphics cards don't have a component or a composite out. So HDMI is the best way to swing if you can. So just a quick side note about the HDMI cable. You can actually see the one that I got is a media bridge. I purchased it off Amazon. It is a 15-footer and it cost me about 11 bucks, I think. HDMI cables have went down in price very significantly, especially online lately. If you go to somewhere like Best Buy or something like that, sure, you can get it quicker, but usually it's going to cost a lot more. So I prefer to just order either Amazon Basics, which is a very good HDMI cable. I have one of those in my drawer, or ordering a media bridge, which is just as good, really, and honestly has a few more reviews on Amazon. So if you go off that sort of thing, then, you know, whichever you prefer. Lengthwise, basically just make sure that you get something that's going to be appropriately length to get from your computer to your setup.
Alright, so I went ahead and grabbed a flashlight just so that I could give you a closer look back here at the back of the computer. And that is the back of my graphics card. You can see I have two DVI plugins right now, and an HDMI, as well as a display port right next to that. The display port is blocked off because I don't have anything that utilizes that, but the two DVIs are taken up because I have a dual monitor setup that I use for my desktop. But I also have an empty HDMI port that is going to be used to hook up to the TV. You should have something similar to this. Sometimes you might have a VGA if you have an older card, or you might just have two HDMIs. Every card is done a little bit differently, but as long as you have an HDMI hookup, you should be in good shape. So we're going to go ahead and plug in our HDMI cable to the back here, and then get ready to plug it into our other end.
I didn't say to your TV, because everybody's setup is going to be a little bit different. In my case, I have an audio receiver right there for the surround sound that goes up and around my room. So, how does that alter things? Not very much. Really, all it means is you need one more HDMI cable if you have an audio receiver like that, which chances are if you used it for anything else, video game wise, or just in general, you already have an HDMI cable hooked up to it to go from the receiver to your TV. So, you probably don't need another HDMI cable, which means all you have to do is hook it into the back and to one of the inputs, and then just set it to that input whenever you're ready to use it. Doesn't get much easier than that. So I'm really anal about my cabling, and I prefer to have everything as hidden as possible, which is why I use that Gurren Lagann flag to cover it up back there. Also, just between you and me, if you saw my setup video, you're probably realizing right now that my TV got probably like 30% bigger. Yeah. I may have taken the TV out of the kitchen. Maybe. So luckily in my case, I'm allowed to be anal about the cabling because all of it's going to be hidden behind my desk, which is nice because I'm anal about cabling. So the real annoyance for me here is I have this flag so nicely situated, I don't really want to move it to plug this in. But what choice do I have? Alright, so when I plugged that in, you heard the ba-da-bump sound coming from my computer. Hopefully. I don't know if it was loud enough for you to hear on here, but the sound happened. Which means that we're now connected to our computer, and it recognized it as a device that it can use. So, now, we're not done. So in your case, and pretty much everybody's case, except for mine and anybody with an audio receiver for a surround sound, you are instead going to be hooking up to the HDMI port in the back of your TV. So if you look around here, on the back side, you can't see shit. I'm sure most of you know where the ins and outs of your TV are. So on the back side there is where you'll be plugging in your HDMI cord. And then when you turn on your TV, no video signal. Okay, so that's because we don't have a connection coming from the PC yet. So in your case, if you have a TV set up like this and don't have an audio receiver, all you'd have to do is reach behind and hit your input button, and then you're going to get this bring up that shows your listing of all of your inputs. So all you have to do is find the input that you plugged into from your computer and set it to that one. Don't be worried though, because it's still going to say no input. Right now mine is set to HDMI 2, which is wrong. I need to set mine to HDMI 1, which is my regs link, to that guy down there. So, right now, still don't see anything. So I need to change the input on my HD audio receiver as well to match the input coming from my computer. So this applies to anybody who needs to do that. So you can see down here, all I need to do is figure out which input I set this to. Right now it's set to HDMI 1, which is my DirecTV. So if I hit through the next couple inputs, it'll set it to HDMI 3. Dun, 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 dun.
Uh-oh. We must have broke something, right? Because there's no picture. No, we didn't break anything. Quick note, you're going to be hearing me use a lot of different terms, such as TSB, TV, and things like that. These will all be selective to you, so it depends on what type of hardware you have, and it's all going to be saying different stuff. This is just specific to me because I have a Toshiba TV. So whenever you're doing yours, you may be looking at something a little bit different, but it's still the same idea. So to configure the displays on the computer end of things, all you do is come in here, right click, and then go to screen resolution. And then you're going to see your 3 display setup here. So this third one over here is obviously my Dell, my 19-inch. And then number 2 is my primary, which is the Asus. And then clear over here is TSB TV, which is my audio receiver. So all we do, we can see that it's set to disconnect right now. You can just click on that and then hit duplicate 1 and 2, which means it's going to take your main display and copy it and stick it over on your TV as well. And then you hit apply, keep changes, hit OK. And now, if you pull back here, you can see we have my desktop set up on that screen, as well as over there on the desktop screen. So this is really useful if you want to play games and have someone who is able to watch you from behind, or if you're playing co-op with someone, someone's using a controller and you're using a controller, you could use the monitor, they could use the big screen. It's great if you just want to play games by yourself and go over and sit on the bed or whatever and just, you know, use your wireless controller or use a wireless keyboard and mouse. Anything like that, it's great for this sort of setup. It's even great for watching movies, which is what I use it for a lot, because all you have to do is set it up to be projected over here, and then you have your movie playing on your TV while it's also playing over there on your monitor. All you do is shut off your monitors, and then it's like it's only playing on your TV. And you never have to worry about a DVD player, you never have to worry about Netflix, you never have to worry about any of that crap again on your 360 or PS4 or whatever it is that you use. Ah, Sunkist. All you have to do to end it is just come back here and hit show on 2 only, apply, and then you're done. Now it's not showing on your TV anymore and you don't have to worry about that display at all, and it won't touch it again until you tell it to. However, there's a quicker way to do it. For some reason, Windows automatically recognizes your computer as being a projector. So your main monitors are normally going to be a projector. And if you want the projector to be duplicated to your TV, then all you have to do is hit Windows and P. And it's the same as having like function F4 on a laptop. And it brings up this projector menu through which you can sift. And then when you set duplicate, it grabs your desktop and sticks it right there. How cool is that? If you started watching a movie right now in this setup, you'd think it'd be really neat and it'd all work fine, right? Not quite. We're almost there. Last thing that you'd have to do is go to your audio settings. So right click down here on the speakers, go to playback devices, and then where it says TSB TV4, right click it, set as default, and then you're done. And you can do anything that you did on there right over here. So as far as playing video games and using a 360 controller to do so, you can do it a couple different ways. You can do it wirelessly, which is what I do. I have a wireless 360 controller up here, and then you can buy a wireless adapter off Amazon for like 20 bucks, 15 bucks, something like that. And it plugs right in the USB port. Hit the sync buttons on each of them, and voilissimo. Just so you guys knew what the hell I was talking about, I decided I would grab my flashlight and just give you a quick look at my wireless receiver for the 360 controller. It's always plugged in, it's always turned on. All I have to do is hit the center button on my Xbox controller, and as soon as the controller turns on, it automatically syncs, and it works flawlessly with any game, pretty much. So some of the devices that you might be interested in picking up if you are going to run a setup like this would be a wireless mouse, which is what I use so that I can navigate my menus and, you know, select new videos to play, sort of things like that. You can also pick up multimedia remotes that are capable of controlling your TV. You have to have a tuner that also accepts it, I believe, or probably just a USB stick type thing, or like a dongle. A wireless keyboard could be valuable. Of course, like I said,
360 controller, wired or wireless, DualShock controller, whichever you prefer, something that'll play your games via this setup. And really anything that just makes it easier to navigate this system. Everybody has their own way of wanting to do things, and one of the biggest ways that you can help yourself navigate this sort of system is by picking up something like Big Picture Mode on Steam. And you can see right there in the background, and it is a great tool for someone who is looking to get the console feel out of a PC. I can plop down on my bed, navigate everything with a controller, be in and out of games, access the Steam overlay, and talk to people. It's all there, and it is actually very, very cozy. So give it a shot. So when it comes down to bang for your buck entertainment, this setup is the epitome. This is the one way that you can get all the power of a PC, all the flexibility of it, all the capabilities, and toss it right onto your TV, where you're able to sit back, relax, hang out with some buds, kick your feet up, eat a little bit, get fat, whatever it is you do while you watch TV, play video games, browse YouTube, browse the web, whatever it is you may do, you can do it with resources that you already have in-house. So why run out and spend your money on something designed to do exactly what you can do right here with a $12 HDMI cable? And I'm not saying that the items that are created specifically to do purposes like play Blu-rays or play DVDs or play video games are completely obsolete, because people do have, you know, their reasons for purchasing certain things. The reason that people buy consoles is usually exclusives. You know, that's understandable. I mean, I own several consoles. You can see them back there behind me, and I showed them to you in my setup video. Do I buy consoles anymore? No, I don't, because I have a PC and I feel like it can properly suit my needs. But that doesn't mean that there's a reason for you not to buy another device that is capable of doing these things. All I'm saying is that never buy more than what you need if you already have something that suffices for what you're going to do. Save your money is essentially what I just said. So I hope everybody takes something away from this. If you have any questions on how to set this up, if you have any questions on specifics to what you're doing at your house, if you just want to tell me how awesome it is, if you want to talk about your setup and how you did it, if you have any links to your setup showing me how awesome it is, then please do all of those things down below. And thanks for watching.
You're going to, oh man, look at that, look at that. Defocus, what the fuck? All right, so in your case, and are you fucking kidding me?